save our world is coming.
Over the last century, we have turned a corner. We are on the verge of the climate that no longer seeks to destroy us. The mission of Moonhaven isn't simply about solving the crushing problems of our planet. It's about solving us. Welcome to Moonhaven.
Moonhaven isn't a people. It's a purpose.
It takes a while to get used to this.
I get that this is supposed to be our future, but you and I know, darkness finds a way.
Hasn't been a murder here in a long time. Now there are two.
Earth extremists have found a way to get an agent on the moon.
The Earthers will kill us all!
There are Earthers amongst us causing chaos. And your pilot is involved.
Bella helps us.
She's not what she seems to be.
We don't survive in spite of our wounds. We survive because of them.
We, all of us, have been raised to believe in this mission with all of our hearts and minds. If we cannot heal the dark heart of Bella Sway, how can we ever hope to succeed?
I don't know who to trust.
Trust me.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for AMC Plus's Moonhaven, arriving on July 7th. I'm Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World. And as you see on the screen, I have a guest who I've always wanted to have because I know he's a card-carrying nerd, Mr. Joe Manganiello. How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. How are you?
It's a pleasure, sir. I've wanted to have you on. I know you're a card-carrying nerd. I've seen the D&D parties that you throw. I would love to be a guest on one of those. You look like you have a lot of fun. So yeah, Moonhaven. I'm excited for you. I was looking at your IMDb page a little bit and I was trying to recollect. I don't think you've ever really done a live action sci-fi series or film per se. Is this the first for you with Moonhaven?
Well, I'm trying to think now. I mean, I guess, whatever you consider True Blood, I guess maybe that's not fantasy. That would have been more
It was supernatural
genre. Yeah, I guess so. But from there, I mean, you got like Snyder's Nightmare Sequence, which is kind of a dystopian future, but it was like 2 seconds long. So then from there, I mean, yeah, probably not, or other than like, well, I'll say this though. This is why it's rattling around in my brain, but it hasn't come out yet. I recorded a 6-part anime series for Zack Snyder to be the next installment in the
Army of the Dead.
In the Army of the Dead franchise.
Yes.
So we actually did that and recorded that, but they're animating it. So it's in my brain. It's like, oh, I did that. Wait, an hour. Or like My Love, Death, and Robots just dropped last month.
And that was cool. That was cool.
So it's like, but little blips, but never really fully got to get the full meal. You know what I mean? I've had the little appetizers, but I never got to have the full meal. You're right.
Exactly. So that's why I'm excited for you, man. I think you're amazing, dude. I love your skills. You're a great actor. You're one of my faves. So to see you in the sci-fi series is fun for me. Have you always wanted to do sci-fi? When this role came along, tell me about booking this role and wanting to get involved with Moonhaven.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're asking me or you're about to ask me if I've always wanted to do sci-fi, and the answer is yeah. I mean, I grew up reading nothing but sci-fi, sci-fi fantasy from the time I was a kid, and as far as all the classics go, I've read all the real classics. If we're talking Bradbury or Long Arm McGill Hamilton, or we're talking the 2010 2061 books. I was all over those. So. I understand it. So it's I really looked forward to this one because, I got the script, and within the script, there's this really gristled, hardened soldier who also has these psychic visions. And so for me to be able to mix those two together in a realistic way, oh my God, I couldn't be happier. That's the kind of stuff I live for. So getting sent a part like that was I can do this and I can make it feel real. Like this stuff really exists. I know I can, So I'm glad that they, I'm glad I got sent it, and I'm glad I got to work on the part, because I just don't think there's anybody else out there who would have cared about it or seen it the way that I did.
I dig it. All right, so Tomm Schultz is your character in Moonhaven. You booked the role. I know, again, you're a D&D player, so you're building characters. Did you have any particular notes, or did you hit up Peter Orko, the showrunner, with any of your thoughts? Like, who came up with the idea for you? You have a cool hairstyle. You kind of got like a faux kind of mohawk hairstyle going on. Were there any notes you had when you started playing in production?
Yeah, a lot. Because it's a really complicated character and there's a lot going on. So, the mohawk was mine. Those are like the finishing touches. But yeah, I saw him, he's a soldier, but he's in the future. I didn't want to give him like a Marine crew cut. So it was like, all right, I'm going to give him, this kind of futuristic looking. I just saw him that way in my head, so I brought that up, and, my character has these like psychic abilities or visions that he almost tries to keep down or even use to put people on their heels so that he can read them and learn about them. Yeah. And so I kind of try to use it in that way, kind of like it's that like almost like a CIA type of weapon. But I have an ancestor who escaped Armenia during the genocide in 1915. And she went through like unspeakable atrocities, but came to the United States, and everybody who knew her said that she had some kind of power. The people of the town wouldn't go to the doctor. They would line up on her front porch to see her. Like she had something, and she could read the coffee grinds and tell your future, and she would see things, And so that kind of trickled down into my mom a little bit. So my mom has these moments where she'll rock on a rocking chair and kind of go into the state, and then bang, something comes out of her. It's surprising, So I just thought about, kind of the rhythm of my mother on the rocking chair, plus those abilities of my great grandmother, and you kind of mix that together. And Tomm, I knew that when Tomm goes into his vision, there's something repetitive that has to happen. So it's with his hands, the names. He writes the names. And therefore, and his hands will drift and starts, his brain will start seeing things. So I was kind of explaining to Peter all of this stuff, and he was like, "Great." He's like, "I don't know what I meant when I wrote the character at all. So this is great. Go for it." So I think really, I'm grateful to him, because he gave me, he just gave me all the real estate in the world that I needed to do whatever I wanted with this thing, and wasn't going to step in and say, "No, that's not right," or "This is that." He wrote the character and let it go, and then it just immediately became mine, which was really cool.
I love it. Well, Joe, I've been a longtime fan and was wanting to have you on this for forever. So it's an honor for me to have you, man. Joe Manganiello, Moonhaven, arriving on AMC Plus July 7th. New episodes every Thursday. I can't wait to see more of you on the show. You surprised me that first episode, but I'm excited to see how this continues, and you continue to play in this sci-fi sandbox that is Moonhaven, y'all.
Thanks
Joe
very
Manganiello.
much. Great to
definitely.
meet you.
Your boy Kuya P, nerds rule the world.